scary, the boats and the logs, 'cause they're turning them old frogs gay. Or maybe they're born this way. Pull up a chair, sit right there, brush your teeth and comb your hair, 'cause they're turning them old frogs gay.
You got a tight little strap here on the. Don's got us on a short leash here today. No, it's fine. I don't need to move.
No, I'm just kind of curious here.
That's good little. It's a good little leash.
Damn.
Shout out
Sorry about
IKEA, one of our main sponsors for the mic rack.
Is it really bugging you though?
No, it's good.
Actually, that was Michael's, I believe. 3-tier system.
Good thing nobody can see it.
Yeah,
Don't make me plug it in.
Don's got a 3-tier wine rack
plug
that
it
we
in.
use as the mic setup.
I think
So we're going
women-
double shorts today, huh?
Yeah.
Even after all of our discussion last week about the jangly knees. It is also confirmed now, too, that I have been cricketing on the pod.
Yeah, cricketing. Didn't
Which is
know that was a
You were
term.
under my legs last pod.
I know, and then it came out. Well, word got out that I had actually been cricketing, which is a form of it's a release.
It's a trauma response.
It's a trauma response for past traumas.
Anybody cuddling up on a couch,
I do that at night.
sitting at a Sarku, Japan in the mall alone. If you catch somebody doing this, they might need a hug. It's called cricketing, we've learned. And
I've been doing a lot of it.
it's a trauma response.
When I get comfy, if I'm in a blanket, if I'm on a couch, the ankles are going to be rubbing. There's going to be friction. And then post-pod, last time we looked at some of the recap, and I was tucked into Dante's thigh. just rubbing away. Speaking of which, I'm going to get the moon boots off. I'm going to get the New Balance
so
moon boots.
big.
I mean, just look at
They're
these
so big.
absolute units here. And for all of our listeners, I'm holding up the New Balance Fresh Foam Moors.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor yet, but we really want to get New Balance involved. And they're just massive, but they've been providing some great comfort.
Cole, I see you have the Mr. Cool Guy shoes. That's fun.
Cole's kind
interesting.
of been a sneakerhead
I
as
know.
of late.
No,
Let
the
me see
Mr.
those.
Cool,
Can I
Hold up the
touch 'em?
pandas for the viewers.
Mr. Cool Guy shoes, I don't wear them that much because
Oh, disgusting.
I realized every 12-year-old in middle school wears them, so I don't really rock them too much.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It's the fact that everyone wears them. Makes
Yeah,
them cool, but they're not.
They're played
cool.
out. They're kind of my cash.
Now, are
They
you
look like my soccer cleats
when you're in
when I was
LBC?
12.
Are you hooping in those, or are you just
I'm doing
daily life?
I'm doing like credit card fraud. I'm doing stick ups.
classic white guy stuff?
Yeah, classic white guy stuff.
Well, they're great. They're a great shoe. And Don is typically in his. This is actually a true sponsor of
If
the
I could
pod.
get sponsored
Rainbow
by
sandals,
Rainbow sandal.
pure leather, pure Australian goose leather.
Geese.
Geese.
Geese leather.
Don is in the rainbows constantly, which we got into last pod with thongs and pants being highly controversial on a date.
My mom always said thongs, and that's
like
when I
that.
became aware of thongs on girls in about 7th, 8th grade. And I'd say, "Stop saying that, Mom. They're called sandals. It's weird."
It was
Like,
triggering.
did you remember your thongs? Did you pack your thongs?
Oh,
Do you remember seeing your first thong or no?
It was almost like a wolf had entered the village, and you heard from other villagers that there was a wolf around. Like there were rumors for days, maybe weeks, that there was one in existence. But
when I first heard of the lore in like 7th grade that these things were around, these types of undergarments, I was just so confused as to why you would want something in your butt all day. It was like it wasn't even like a thing where it was like I saw it as a point of interest yet. I was
scary.
truly thinking, what would someone do with something up their butt all day?
I felt bad for the women because don't they have a wedgie? It's like
It's a true wedgie.
bothering them.
It's a true constant wedgie from morning till night, and
overall scary. You weren't ready for that because you leave 6th I mean, here in Southern California, we have 1 through 6. 7th and 8th is your middle school. For you guys, I mean, yeah. I think
For you, it's
maybe
6, 7,
even,
8, right?
No.
That was Newhart only.
That's crazy.
Some districts,
Newhart
but I think
LaPlace.
a lot of the country is 6, 7, 8 is middle school.
Milo's gonna have that, and I'm worried for him.
Really?
I
I
wouldn't
think it's
want to be at a
better.
middle
I
school.
think
at
it's better.
six.
No
What?
way. You're not. No way, man.
I think it's better because
Keep the innocence, brother.
You leave 6th grade, and you're still drinking Capri Suns and playing kickball on lunch, and like doing armpit farts, and then you're thrust into 7th grade, and it's this like terrifying world of piercings, thongs, fights, blood,
Body boxing.
body boxing. It's just
Axe
drug
spray.
use, talks of drug and then you're in 8th grade, and you're all of a sudden you go from the lowest on the totem pole to supposedly the highest
To the kingpin. So maybe
To
the
the kingpin.
bipartisan, the 7th,
It's
8th
just
bipartisanship isn't
It's
good.
just such a shift, and then you're done, and it's like a flash, and then you're thrust into high school. I just think it's too abrupt. I think the 6th grade eases you into it, maybe.
Oh man. Dude,
But then imagine being a 6th grader. Well, maybe that's wrong too. Imagine being a 6th grader. You're
And-
12,
and you
and
see
then
a
there's a big dog 8th grader with a full beard carrying around a saxophone.
That's when they started handing out the woodward,
Yeah, the wind instruments.
wind instruments, and the brass. I was a brass man myself. Head
Trumpet?
trumpeter. It's a trumpeter. Dante was actually on the sax. He was sick with it.
sax, dude. Love the sax.
If we got one, do you think you could hit a few notes?
100%.
No
I was-
chance
me- it
Don's
was me-
hitting
there
a
was
Those
sax.
ones you
note.
even make sound.
There
come
was
out of
one
it.
performance where it was the hardest song.
remember
They're
your
like,
song?
Dante, we need, or they're like, out of everyone.
Dante, we need him.
No, they're like, we need people to solo the solo part, and me and I think one other guy stood up, and we're the only ones that did it. It was a
Were you
recital.
the alto sax, or do you
Can't
remember which size?
But it was Mortal Kombat solo. The hardest song to play, and I'm like ripping it hard. Shy as all fuck all, but
Sweating up a damn storm.
seniors got that on a VHS or a
I'm
mini
sure hope
disc
so.
somewhere.
Dude, I like faked my way through every concert. Unless it was hot cross buns, I
Wait.
wasn't tooting that
do
horn.
we have a picture of you with you and Jake Potter, I think, playing violin?
We might have me on the strings
Gotta
with
find
Potter,
that.
dude. Gosh.
What did
Dante,
you play,
that's
Cole?
crazy. I never did a. You
This
know, you
guy
could
was a
do
freaking no, not a clarinet. They'd hand you the
the
recorder.
recorder. I was a recorder kid, recorder guy.
Wow.
Why
Some
didn't
kids
you-
did the violin. I just wasn't messing with it.
You didn't like it?
I didn't need any more extracurricular stuff. I was adventuring after school.
Already indie enough. as
Sick with
is.
it on the
No, I mean-
harmonica too. Speaking of which, you should kind of hit a low key harmonica
Yeah.
solo on the pod one day.
I have, yeah.
Cole also is.
I don't have one with me, but I'll bring one.
We didn't kind of dive into
I
the.
should hit a harmonica. That would get us 1 million views.
Probably 1 million.
You
Cole
got a
didn't.
harmonica?
I used to. I don't know if I still have it. I
don't
think
think
I
we
gave
do.
it away to Aunt.
Cole also
Okay, next
shout
week,
out
next
Cole
week.
on the production of our intro song as well.
Not the production,
the
just
writing,
the writing, and the vocal performance. Zach Fensky, full production.
Also, let it be known that Zach got Cole's extremely rough audio take and produced it in like 3 hours. Every instrument.
Jokingly, in traffic, I was thinking maybe around episode 3-4 that we could use some intro music. So I was just humming, coming up with something. I said frogs instead of pods on the whole song, so it doesn't really make sense, but we're owning it.
We're gonna rewrite the lyrics, maybe.
And
it's
and I
interesting.
just hit a little audio message to Zach and sang what's now on the song, and that was it. But I just texted him.
Holy
Yeah, we're about to get
smokes, we
run
got
up
a
on.
GMC pulling up slow on the house right now. Holy, that's the slowest roll up we've ever had. The block is officially hot.
This is the hottest the block.
Don's trying to get a photo here. Oh,
Ooh, he gave
crap.
us the eyes on the way out.
What is going
Anyways, I just sent it to Zach and I said, like, hey,
Viejo.
keep this in mind. Let's get in the lab sometime and lay this down. And like 2 weeks later, Zach just sends me a freaking Dropbox or whatever. Full song, mixed and mastered, time sequence, so it matches
Mandolin.
the rhythm. And I'm like, is this like GarageBand or something? And he's like, no, he's like, had to get the mandolin out first time since SNL to record this. And he got his drummer from the flipping Tate McRae tour to lay down the snare on it too.
No
we had
way.
Tony Royster Jr. on the theme
What's
music.
the Tate McRae tour called? Let's give it a shout out.
Gosh, Tate McRae tour.
Incredulous
You could
Tour
pull
or
it up on the Insta. They did their all little bios. Zach has his bio up now.
Yep.
He's probably in Dubrovnik right now.
Yeah.
Listening. We love you, Zach. We miss you.
Don, I actually have a gift for you.
Really?
Whoa.
I don't see you have your. Oh, you've got your snacks over there.
I got my snacks.
It's kind of gnarly that you guys never sit close to each other. It's almost like.
Well, I was gonna say that, Joe. I noticed that on our imagery on the pod and stuff, it's Cole, you, me.
I am in the middle.
And I also noticed when podcasting or talking, it's really hard. Cole's easy. I have to do this to look at you. So I noticed a lot of the pod I'm going like this. I have to do this. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think the
thinking we
ultimate
could
would be
switch
like
chairs.
a right angle, like two people next to each other and one person over there.
Because Joey's almost in host mode where he goes left and right.
Look at me, dude. I'm the freaking Bhagwan right now. I'm in hot cross
We could
bun
switch.
style.
We could do a little rotation and see what it feels like to switch
We should
chairs.
get you in your upside down clip boots and have you do a full pod hanging.
We should get Don upside down. For the record, we do have Don has the ankle space boots that you hook onto your ankles and
On the pull-up bar.
climb up onto the pull-up bar right where Terrence is and just drop down and hang. What's the longest what is the typical hang session?
Longest you've hung before.
What's a typical hang session?
Probably
I
a
would go
minute.
A couple of minutes. Yeah, a minute or two. And then I would get off and make sure my blood is out of my head and then do it again. When you hear physical pops and cracks, it's frightening.
Because your
Back
body's
and
just
spine
extending.
is just...
When's the last time you hung?
Can't remember.
It's been a while.
A couple months, yeah. And usually if I stop becoming hung, I realize that I get hurt. I get injured.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to decompress?
Yeah, I got to decompress.
And that brings a lot of truth to the teeter hang-ups. If you've ever seen the teeter hang-ups commercial,
Yeah.
the teeter board.
Teeter boards.
oh,
Those are
yeah,
just
people-
it's cheaper man's
You
way
know
of
the
doing
board
it.
that you see at every Goodwill that somebody turned in, but old guys love it. Hop in there in their khakis and Nike Pegasus, strap in, hang upside down, and I think it really like prevents a lot of stuff and keeps you. Remember the commercial? Like
Yeah.
an 80-year-old guy, and he goes, and I can still do this, and he does like a 1 millimeter jump.
Yeah.
A lot of blokes get stuck in those, though.
Yeah, you could
think
probably get a
someone's
couple
died in it.
geezers just croaking there for
I
sure.
think people have died in it for sure.
For sure, the geezers can't get out. Yeah.
I've needed help. I've had to call for help before. I swear. I was in the military at a gym, got stuck straight up and down, and I could not move.
On
And
a-
I just
on a
had- I
board?
had to wave down a buddy. Yeah, on a board.
Has mom ever hung upside down in these?
Joe, you could barely make it. On there.
No, I'm saying, have we ever gotten her up there? And
Hell no, I would never do that for mom.
because that's the thing with the
She would need a
teeter
teeter
boards
hang-up.
is that they're accessible.
Yeah,
and
because
then
you
these
just
big
use
old
your
women from
hand.
San Antonio get in them, and then those are the ones that get stuck.
Anyways, Don, I brought you a gift. I hope it's not too melty.
Oh,
but
he bought the built.
I got a new bar for you to try because you went from.
Can we all do a taste test?
Yeah, we can all do a taste
MD
test.
Foodie Boy style.
It might be a little melty in my pocket, but
Yeah,
that's
that
all
thing's
right.
been heating up in those big old thighs.
pocket?
No,
Let me smell.
it's my pheromones. Maybe it's the laundry. These are fresh
Yeah,
out of the
laundry.
laundry.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, I saw these at Costco. The branding grabbed my attention with the chocolate.
Kind of Mr. B style branding.
Mr. B style oozing chocolate, and I think when you see the word puff on a bar, it just immediately
It's called
kinda,
a puff.
a built puff.
Okay, and it's
Puffed.
very interesting. We'll
17
all do a taste test.
17 grams of protein. You got the collagen. 140 cal.
140, and the ingredients are again
Probably cancer causing.
the glyphosate. It's full of glyphosate. It's giving everybody.
But they are gluten free. I like how stuff says gluten free. Like I was cooking sausages this morning. It was like gluten free. I was like, no,
no
doy. No doy. We should crack into it, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
let's
get
see.
it on. Let's get it on.
Gorgeous little poop stick. Almost looks like a dark chocolate situation.
Let's pull it out because.
So there you can see the size right there.
The size is not huge.
That's a pretty familiar looking size to
It's
me.
a little too familiar. It's honestly scary familiar how it feels in the hand, but it's neither here nor there.
and color.
The puff is incredible.
The puff, it's not
It's
a puff
like a
you would
mochi.
think.
It's like a
It's
mochi.
like a mochi. I was thinking it was going to be like a nougat, like a Three Musketeers type puff.
Oh, it's like a mochi style puff. Absolutely melts in the mouth, man.
And there was it came in a dual pack with the brownie batter, and then the
Kicking Darbonic to the
Coconut.
curb. Built is officially the new
we're
sponsor.
going Darbonic next.
Yeah, we're gonna dive in.
Tastes like the Mookie,
What's a mookie?
the
Oh.
Ecuadorian cryptid. You right? The Mookie.
Yeah,
I was not expecting that
I
level of
wouldn't
puff.
either.
That kind of scares me a little bit.
Like, what is it made out of?
Eating it.
Is
yeah.
it even food? You can
That's
finish
not
it, Joe.
good. Yeah, it's good, but it scares me a little bit.
Yeah, if you've ever
American Fork, Utah.
no way this is good for us, but
No, it can't be.
Is this what the foodie boys do?
did they
No,
review?
they just talk about food.
Oh, got it.
One of them said he's never had a carrot.
I've never seen. I think a thing of theirs. I've just heard about them.
We should do a hot one style pod, just with protein bars. You have to make it through protein bars while we ask you hot hitting questions.
Well, we got the Darbonic jerky up here. Actual real sponsor, Darbonic Darby Jerky.
Veteran owned.
Better known. Let's show the frickin'. Yep, bring it close. You know it's veteran owned due to the placement of the American flag.
What's the placement mean?
I'm just saying it's just American flag. It's placed on.
So veteran owned. Is it made in America or is it made in?
I think it's made in
China.
Darby's house.
Really?
He makes it himself.
In his kitchen.
So technically not America, Santee.
USDA choice, 80 calories per serving, delectable sweet and spicy beef jerky. Indulge in the perfect balance of flavors as the succulent beef is marinated in my kitchen sink. No, I'm kidding. Savor the initial sweetness that gradually gives way to a delightful kick of spiciness. Leave your taste buds craving more. Okay, I'm going to admit, Darbonic, a little wordy here on the description. No, I'm
Little
kidding.
word?
It's great.
Use promo code Lick My Balls for 10%.
Were you doing a little taste test?
What is the damn promo, Don? You gotta.
Oh, I was going to do a crazy one, but it was going to be more of like a little improvisation.
What is the actual promo code that the listeners can use?
Finny,
I just said
F-I-N-I,
what the
Finny.
promo ad I want to do. Well, actually, I've been thinking about it.
We're going to put the website and the promo
Finny,
code down
F
here.
is in Frank, I-N is in Nancy, I-F-I-N-I, lowercase. Don't mess it up.
Beautiful.
Can I do a taste?
Yeah.
Is that getting you 10%
I
off
also
or
don't
15?
know. I got to talk with Darb, also known as Blake Benjamin Darby,
Wait, can you dead name him right now?
Blake B.
Oh,
Darby.
he's out.
He's out tomorrow.
Okay, good.
The pot will be out. What if the pot?
Dishonorably discharged at
Cool.
11.
That is a rockin' piece
Yeah,
of
good size
of
pieces,
jerk.
rocking pieces. Look at that fat on there.
nice fat cap. Judas Priest. I thought you were vegan, brah.
Smells great.
Yeah. This is like a little salty, sweet kind of morning here, eh? It's good, eh?
Great jerky. Amazing.
Darb, here's what I love, mate. A lot of new healthy jerkies that me and Ash have been getting. Too moist. They're like
Yeah.
almost wet in the bag. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I want
I
it
know.
dry. I want
know.
it to rip. Even if I'm getting the forever chemicals, I don't give a dang.
This ain't spicy for you guys?
No,
No.
it's great.
Really good. Really good. What is this, teriyaki?
I got a
That's the rip you want.
It tastes really good. I just have a weak mouth from GERD.
I want to feel like a Rottweiler when I'm eating jerky. Like, I don't want it to, like, mush. I want to yank on it.
Rot.
It unlocks the primal instinct.
So you're
Eating
saying
f-
it's drier. You guys like it a little bit
Eating
drier.
flesh.
This is drier
Bite
age
it.
theory. Yeah, this is
You should see him use it. I saw him back
drier
in the,
earth theory.
Yeah.
Younger, driest.
This is younger, driest jerky, dude.
When he was like first starting to make jerky years ago, when I was still freaking activated in the community, he had a little dehydrator and would make it. I feel like you guys could get into that.
Darb, fantastic friggin' jerky, mate.
I know, I could eat it the whole pot.
And that's not just a plug. That's not just because we're sponsored, okay? I wouldn't put a product in my body that I don't believe in. Which brings me to my next sponsor, 8 Sleep. It's been helping me sleep. Or a ring.
Or a ring.
I want to know what's funny, though, actually, too, is when I sleep with Milo, when I have to put him down in his little twin bed, we bought like a cheap bed on Amazon. It truly is hot. Like, it doesn't breathe. Like, I feel myself, my temp, super hot in his cheap little foam Amazon bed.
Yeah.
To where I'm like, oh, it has no cooling to
Yeah,
it. Like,
exactly.
there's no air. And my back sweats.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's been damaging me.
That's a good point. And I have had that. Okay, interesting.
I'm going in for more Darbonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take turns. Yeah, I know. I want some more. Maybe we'll take a break. Have a Darbonic break.
Absolutely fantastic.
I had a pretty vicious number 2.5 after I had like a good amount of Darbonic jerky, and I really do think I have a weak esophagus and I have to take a picture of this right now because this is just too good.
All right, Grandma's coming in. She's got 2 pounds of ice. Oh no, 10 pounds maybe. What is it?
4 16-pound.
Mama has 4 16-pound bags of ice because we are activating the plunge again. We actually took a little plunge hiatus here.
Yeah, we're waiting for sponsors on a new plunge. So if you're a plunge company, you like what we do, you like what you see, hit us up. Let's
Might
get
be a
involved.
Don had a plunge. Don
Might
had
be
a
a while.
plunge and sold it
At a
And
huge
sold
loss.
at a huge loss per usual. But yeah, I do remember back in our plunging days when we were pretty activated on the plunge.
We did it every day.
Yeah.
I don't think we're really that alpha anymore.
No.
We could still do it. It was a time of learning and a time of experimentation, and now we know we can do it.
But we had Don's when we had the plunge in the backyard. We also had this thing called. Oh my gosh, Mom wasn't kidding. She does have
She
more.
has 6. She's gonna do 6 buckets.
Oh my, Mom, that's incredible.
You got to get a little ice machine. Make it in house.
Oh, make the ice in house. Yeah, industrial size. That'd be cool.
But when we used to plunge every day regularly, per Andrew Huberman's advice, we had this thing called the communal Speedo, which was Dante's Speedo that everyone would wear. And by about month 6 of plunging, it was just stretched out.
Basically coming off of you.
It was pretty much falling off your body as you were in the plunge, but
I think even Macy was worried about it, right?
pretty heinous that we were in a communal Speedo like that.
Macy's like, why do you guys have to wear that?
Look, Don's going in for more.
You still have it, the red Speedo?
100%.
Look at that absolute load right there. Big old hunks of Darbonic jerky.
We got to get this in front of Cuban. We got to get this in front of Kevin O'Leary.
We got to bring it to the shark, dude. Get
The
it to
Shark's
the
got
tank.
to see it.
You get to a shark.
Speaking of which, if you did watch last pod too, I think we had a featured photo of us on Shark Tank. Did
at
you
that.
show the elf photo?
Whole video.
Look at the marbling in there and how it just kind of contours. Those little breaks make it easy to take off bites. Great.
Gorge. This is in kitchen made.
What's the deal with
Probably
your
not.
brother, Cole?
We all have brain worms in 8 hours. What's up with Tanner? What do you mean?
But was he not liking the pod last week?
For this
Is it-
reason,
Isn't it? Yeah. We got to can the eating.
we were goofing off too much. We were goofing.
Oh, is that the trick? Frickin'
Don eats a 5-course meal the whole
Yeah.
time he's potting.
Tanner's an avid listener, and he just felt that the energy was off, and I had to almost agree with him. And we did get a lot of views, but I think he kind of lulled us and hypnotized us into his.
Oh, that was 2 episodes ago.
Oh, Tanner wasn't talking about that one.
No, he's talking about the one.
It was us.
You know, my energy was off. I came in a little stressed out. I was worried about some work stuff and just some life stuff, and my energy came off. But I made sure to take my vitamins, drink my creatine, come in here ready to go today.
I'm on
BCAAs.
I'm on 700 milligrams of lion's mane right now, so I'm laser focused. But yeah, sorry Tanner. Last week it could have been work stuff for me as well.
But also, as the Bible says, don't worry about the speck in my eye when you have a log in yours, you know?
Tanner, there could be a proper log in your eye, and you got to kind of re-examine that, my bruv. I know it's a harsh winter over there in Montana, but yeah, it was low energy. I don't know.
We use the word melancholy. Is that what I remember?
I think
correctly?
so.
What does melancholy mean again?
Melancholy is like not depressed, but kind of lackadaisical, yes, but with a tone of blue over it, you know.
A bit sad.
A bit sad, but maybe you're not sure why.
I think the clouds. I think the clouds are getting to us as well.
Yeah, it could have been the clouds as well.
I think we were just super in chill. We're all three in chill mode, and no one could really break.
If you're
out.
going Darbonics straight into the chomps, you're for sure doing a 2.5 to a 2.75 within an hour.
I have GERD, so the peppers, even though it's great jerky, their listeners, watchers, they're saying it tastes really good. I think it tastes really good. It's not spicy. I just have a weak mouth.
And GERD.
So it's still and GERD. It's from GERD.
So since you're a
So
survivor,
it's still on my mouth right now.
since you're a survivor of GERD, do you want to speak to any listeners out there who might be battling the same thing as you and what you've done to kind of
Combat GERD.
combat it? Because actually,
GERD, gastrointestinal reflux disorder or disease?
Esophageal.
Gastroesophageal.
because at one point GERD was almost
Keeping him out of
keeping
the
Dante from
community?
fighting the big war. Yeah, because when he was trying to get his contract, you couldn't be on any medications, and he had to hide that he was on GERD.
I didn't have to technically hide, Joe. You know, let's not get the
Let's not get the feds
coming
involved.
Yeah, not hide, but he did have to just get off the med and risk it.
And get himself healthy,
get a
properly,
waiver.
you know.
That's what I thought I had to do. What I did is I went to the doctor and I'm like, get me off GERD. I don't have it anymore. I swear.
Get me off GERD. GERD is not the medication. You said it, now you said it.
Get me out. Get this thing out of my body. I just needed a waiver. But I went to the doctor. I was like, sign the paperwork. I don't have GERD anymore. Please. I'm trying to join the Navy.
And then did your
But
GERD
little
spike?
did I know, it's like, oh, we still see that you had GERD paperwork. A waiver. You're fine. And it spiked. In boot camp, it spiked hard. But no, keep your head elevated when you sleep. No chocolate, no booze, no greasy food, no ketchup. All the things I like.
That's your whole diet up
That is
until
l-
3 months ago.
That was Don's proper diet for 5 years straight.
Yeah, I had GERD when I was 10 years old bodyboarding. I remember just having in the water, just like having it come up all the way to where it's like I had to throw it up and I would just swallow it. So having that from a kid, it affects your tongue because your tongue goes so deep. So now I just have like a weak, sensitive tongue.
Wasn't your tongue all cracked and messed up,
It used
too?
to be pretty
Yeah.
messed up as a kid because I
It
used to
looked
not
like-
take any
It
medication.
looked like the Sahara Desert floor.
Because I wouldn't take medication, so it was getting messed up. Now it's fine.
Oh, I
But
remember
still,
your
like,
creepy tongue.
I think I've done
Don was
enough
never making
damage
out in
to
high
it.
school.
Yeah.
Don's makeout count was low. Strictly pecs.
That's pretty sad.
Strictly
but
Gregory pecs.
strictly pecked. Yeah, pecked my first girlfriend for 2 months straight.
Speaking of pecs, too, we are on a bulk season right now, kind of getting ready for summer. Are we?
Yeah. Bulk?
Or not bulk, but like
We're
a
bulking.
Don's on a shred type of circuit right now.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been doing more arms, chest type, and sprints compared to your typical Xander zone powerlifting that you lock into.
I just went from I just did a 3-month strength cycle. That's all. And now I'm just more of into like a bodybuilding-esque plus hit circuits. I don't know. Just not doing so much strength.
And Cole, you have been speaking about the great turnaround that's supposed to be coming this summer and when you're going to get back in the gym.
Yeah.
Is that kind of on the horizon, or have we?
Again, Huberman, he spoke of this, but it's just a natural thing that you can't really combat, and you have to let nature take over when you have a partner carrying child. The man, his cortisol, his estrogen, a lot of things spike, and naturally, my body's preparing like the great Kodiak for the hibernation. And in this case, the hibernation is the birth of the child, the sleepless nights where I'm going to be needing calories, and naturally the body will hold on to fat a lot harder than it does when you know that you're living with a pregnant woman. It's just a fact, Aunt. So
it's a selfless act. It's a
selfless act. I'm packing on this blubber to get me through the many sleepless nights that it's going to require.
correct.
Do you feel like your testosterone's been higher or lower since packing on the Kodiak blubber?
My T feels low lately, I will say. My T feels low.
Because you did post a photo recently of you at In-N-Out Burger pre-noon, which is pretty diabolical, and you got called out for it because you were diving into a juicy old burger at around 11:15.
Yeah, Jameson and I, we have a tradition. If we can, we'll go to In-N-Out.
You're a good father.
Yeah, we'll take him to In-N-Out once every 2 weeks or so. He likes a plain cheeseburger and fries.
Dada gets a little 4x9.
No.
4 patty.
Double grilled onions, no tomato. Simple.
All right.
You know.
Bun.
Of course the bun.
Well,
there's no harm in the bun.
There's the issue right there.
Flying
That's a bunch of
Frenchman.
crap.
Get the protein style.
Flying Dutchman, Frenchman.
The Flying Frenchman I used
Flying
to get.
Frenchman.
Yeah. No, it's Dutchman. You're right.
But honestly, that is a good question to ask. Is In-N-Out burger pre-noon diabolical or not?
Go to
Like
any,
a breakfast In-N-Out.
Well, there's a lot of
situation.
diabolical people on
it was-
Earth because go to any In-N-Out at 10:30
packed.
when they open, the line is already down the parking lot.
People diving into a juicy burger.
Maybe they're
Working
on
class,
their-
blue collar. Lot of good folk getting food there.
Yeah, you've been
Early
working,
lunch break.
working since 5 a.m. I mean, that's where you
Yeah,
want to
that's
go
lunchtime,
for lunch.
dude.
It's lunch.
All right.
Panda Express at freaking 3 p.m. and then a couple
Respect.
beers at 5.
I mean, you could catch me with a breakfast at 3 a.m. back in the day.
I've got
Breakfast, 2 breakfast burritos and a 5-count hash stick at Del Taco for $2.99. That deal's probably not still sticking around.
5 hash browns.
I'd get 2 of them, so I'd get 4 breakfast burritos and 10 hash browns, and I'd hose it at like 3 a.m. Hose it down. 10 hash browns.
10 hash browns.
I mean, they're like kind of mini
mini ones.
little silver dollars, but golden dollars.
It's so crazy how you're kids and you eat till you're physically sick. Like, that's how I knew to stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm just going to eat till I'm sick. Oh, this is my order. Do I know I get sick after? Sweet. That's going to fill me up.
I'd get a 60 rack of bagel bites from Costco, and I'd eat 30, and I'd stop, and I'd be like, dang, that was a good run.
I've got a mystery that I want to hear your opinions on. I figured we'd do a little spooky segment today.
On the Mookie?
No, it's in the Mookie sphere though.
None of your
We'll
Ouija
call
board
this
talk, though, because last time
No Ouija
Terrence
board
didn't
talk.
like it. Lord did not approve.
We'll call this Mookie's Corner where we get into some spooky talk. Okay? Maybe you've heard of it. It's a famous Russian mystery from 1959 called the Dyatlov Pass Incident or the Dyatlov Pass Mystery. You intrigued?
Sounds familiar.
A tragic
Extremely.
event in 1959 where 9 experienced hikers in the Ural Mountains of Russia died under mysterious circumstances. So these were experienced hikers, young kids, like college-aged, and they were in some sort of, I forget what it was called, like a hiking group, a hiking team, and they were going for their, like, gold star or, going to get, like, an achievement. And it was set up almost like a marathon type situation where there was a person at this checkpoint, a person at this checkpoint, and then like a triangular back at the bottom. And there he is, FedEx. As soon as we start getting spooky.
He knows.
And they had to do it in a certain amount of time, like in 24 hours. And they were to camp one night, but they had to be up to make it back to get the achievement. And they made it to the first checkpoint, and they never made it to the second. Nine hikers, but here's where the mystery lies. The hikers were found near their abandoned tent with some bodies scattered and showing injuries that couldn't be easily explained. The official cause of death was attributed to a compelling natural force. That's what the Russian authorities, they investigated it. They put the cause of death as a compelling natural force, and then they just closed the case, never touched on it. But the incident remains one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries in history. So the group of 9 hikers were led by Igor Dyatlov. They went on the winter hike. The hiker's tent was found ripped open from the inside, and the bodies were scattered across the snowy landscape, all within maybe 100 meters of the tent. And the tent was ripped open from the inside. Cause of death and circumstance still a mystery. Various theories have been proposed, including an avalanche, military testing, an encounter with the Mansi people, or even a supernatural explanation. So,
Who are the Mansi people?
I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
A Russian tribe.
But a few of them they found and deemed died of hypothermia. Some of them were naked, completely naked. Some of them, they never even put their boots on when they got out of the tent to run from whatever they were running from. Some of them were men in some women's clothes and women in some men's clothes, as if maybe whoever carried out this atrocity switched clothes just to make it all the more grotesque on the bodies afterward, or they were switched clothes before the event happened. A few of them had like their eyeballs like almost surgically removed, tongues surgically removed. One of them was found like part way up a tree, hung over a branch, and they found like deep gouge marks in the tree at the bottom.
They think some avalanche did this? You talk about a leprechaun. That's what he did. Maybe he said a leprechaun did something like that.
And you know what leads people to think it was the military, some sort of experimenting a new weapon. It is the Cold War. They've got some new high-powered direct energy laser human obliterator thing. They're like, they've got this isolated guys in the mountain right now. Let's go wipe them out, see if it works, and then we'll blame it on something else.
Or a humanoid weapon.
Humanoid weapon?
Yeah, like just turn someone into like a half human, half pig or whatever, set them loose.
Oh yeah, could have been
Because
that.
it was inside the tent. The
Centaur.
thing that got me was that
Centaur battle.
they broke out of the tent. It was that's what you specifically
Maybe they were
said.
so scared, instead of trying to find the zipper, somebody just grabbed a knife and cut it so they could run out.
Oh, I was picturing maybe the person like transformed in the tent.
That's a
into
great
humanoid,
theory. I don't
and
even
then-
think the
and then
Russian
got out, and
yeah.
then the people started running.
He
'cause he's
he
killing
anamorphed
people.
inside of the tent.
Or maybe they're having girls and guys' clothes, guys and girls' clothes. Maybe the Lord just had to strike them down. They were having
Maybe they
trans
were.
fest.
Maybe they all were getting freaky already, and they got struck
Committing
down.
haram, and
Yeah.
Zeus threw a couple bolts at him.
That's also what happens when you follow a bloke named Igor into the mountains. It's like it's not gonna end good.
But some think aliens, some sort of abduction, mutilation situation.
Well, and then we should probably look into the tribe too.
The Mansi people.
And not one person said bear.
A bear couldn't.
I don't think there's bears in that part of the Ural Mountains, or
That
I don't think a bear
cross-dress?
could get
Bear can't surgically remove an eye.
a
Unless he
transphobic
tries.
bear in the.
He
Well,
tries.
there could
If
have
the
been
bear tries, he could.
a heavily transphobic
The bear's
bear.
little claw.
But it's a great mystery. I know you guys are typically more into the good vibe stuff, but
Yeah, we have some listeners out there that are into the spooky stuff. So we've heard on our.
it was our
in
best
comment
episode.
section.
It did the best.
What did the Mookie one?
No, actually, it didn't. Sorry, I take that.
Mookie
Take
might have
that
been
back.
the first episode.
Second. Mookie was second episode.
The Mansi are a Ob-Ugric indigenous people living in western Siberia. So it's just like the native people, kind of look maybe Eskimo-ish.
What year was this in?
57.
Pictures?
Yeah, maybe we can put some in.
That's scary.
So
Igor timestamp.
I know, Don, you're trained in cold weather survival. You can add a lot to this, but
we just went toe to toe right there too, my brother. Ebony and Ivory. Tickly.
very scary stuff.
What did you say about cold weather training?
You're trained in cold weather training, and so are these young hikers. Maybe not to your level of expertise, but
Don't
It just doesn't make
downplay
sense.
yourself either, Cole. You were a scout.
Yeah, you
know
know
what's
what's up.
You know how to
Yeah.
survive.
um,
That could have easily been us too, circa 2011 when we tried to summit Saddleback Mountain off course.
We could have died for sure.
That was the closest to death we've ever been, for sure.
Don's
And
whole time
you
in the
walked
community.
away. You walked away, Cole.
one victim
Cole solo.
I free soloed.
We were on the hike. We're hiking up Saddleback Mountain.
soloed.
With Cole went Alex Honnold, a.k.a. walking up switchbacks to the top of Saddleback Mountain.
I was the only experienced hiker that had already summited the mountain previously, and I was excited to get my friends to do it.
Let's be real. It's
And about 2 miles in, they got bored and said, "Let's go climb those
We
rocks."
can make it.
They're like, "This is how dumb you guys
We
are."
said we can make it to the top.
They looked up. You can't even see the top. First of all, it's not a cartoon.
We
you
were
can
close.
just see to your ridge, and you guys probably thought that.
I thought that was the top.
And they're like, "What? This trail's going sideways. Why don't we just go straight? We'll get there faster." You guys started climbing the rocks, and I said, I set out here to summit, and I'm going to summit, goddammit.
We had about 8 of us too.
And
So
I
Matt-
went on about 4 hours on my own to the top by myself, ate my sandwich, drank my Gatorade, came back down.
As we're panicking.
As nightfall
I
happened.
think you were going to die as I'm rationing out oranges and water.
Because the way the trail goes is Saddleback Mountain has this long switchback trail that traverses up the whole mountain, and it's a nice, easy, cruisy walk.
4-hour walk,
And we
yeah.
looked up at one point about an hour into the hike and just said, "Let's get to the top."
That's pretty hard-headed, huh?
Yeah, Cole, that was very hard-headed of you. And
We
then
got
we
lost.
we went for the summit, did not reach. We also had Dot brought 2 oranges. We
some
had
water.
like a water bottle and 2 oranges, and I'm like, "Oh, this is how." Now that I'm older, I'm like, "This is how people die in the mountains."
And it's
we
getting
got
cold.
We got
It's
lost.
getting cold.
Started to get cold. Sun started to go down, and Dot knew I started to hit my panic mode, where it started to get a little scary. Covered in, and then I was the only one who got covered in poison oak per usual because my skin doesn't like it.
Okay, here we'll get off it, but here's some more details about the injuries because it's the most mysterious part. Are you guys over it?
More mysterious than the cross dressing.
Talia just said a car just followed her to pick up Lila all the way there, and I said, was it black? That crazy looking car.
The GMC.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
A GMC Acadia.
No,
She said it followed her to pick up Lila.
and it's the black GMC.
I don't know. I said, is the car black? I haven't heard.
All right, load them up.
Load them up. Here we
Okay.
go.
One victim had major skull damage, 2 had severe chest trauma, and another had a small crack in his skull. 4 of the bodies were found lying in running water in a creek, and 3 of these 4 had damaged soft tissue of the head and face. 2 of the bodies had missing eyes, 1 had a missing tongue, and 1 had missing eyebrows. The investigation concluded that a compelling natural force had caused the death.
What the hell does natural force mean?
They just didn't want to deal with it. They said something happened and bailed.
That sounds like some angry chimpanzee energy, though.
Yeah, I was about to say monkey.
And then Russia
The spirit-
opens a new investigation in
Snow
2019
monkey.
and concludes in 2020 that it was an avalanche.
It could have been that. Could have
Snow
been
monkey.
the feared snow monkey of Siberia.
The ones in the ponds.
It's like, how can the government say it was an avalanche with people's eyeballs missing? Avalanches don't pop your eyeball or your tongue out.
Or
Scrape
it was an
marks on the tree.
avalanche. The avalanche happened, which they'd be buried, so it probably wasn't an avalanche. And then the critters got to them, and the critters really got in the eyes and really had to
I
dissect
think they
them.
found them like the next morning, and critters don't eat tongues out of people's mouths.
Are you a critter?
and have you been to Siberia?
you a weasel?
And have you been to
snow weasel?
Siberia? And have you seen what the vultures do out there and the snow monkeys?
Snow weasels are flipping nuts.
Snow
You seen
bunny will
those?
eat your family.
We used
You're
to
not
have
careful.
a
Big old hair, big
we
snow
used
hair.
to have a
Big
bunny.
old hair.
Do you remember this, Joe? I think you might have been terrified of this.
Hmm.
Me, 2 buddies from school when we were 6th, 7th, 8th grade, maybe 5th, 4th, had a bunny. It was a white bunny, and we'd set it in this garage. We'd set it loose, and it would bite the living hell out of us. Do you remember that? Are you guys both on your phones?
Sorry.
Well, Tall's giving me the update about the.
I look over, you guys are
Don's on his.
both your knees are.
Okay, what were you talking about? Sorry.
Don's on
Fuck
about
y'all,
his
man.
bunny lore. Talia is being followed to school by the dang GMC. Or it was just coincidence.
No, it's just that it's blue.
All right, we're good.
All right, she's being followed, but it's not this car. So.
She's fine.
Fine.
It's not the black one.
She's fine.
No, he would set out a bunny, a evil, vicious bunny, and it would bite you so bad and rip your freaking skin off. So we'd set it loose in the garage and jump on whatever you could jump on
In this garage?
in this garage, and then we'd jump down and be like, oh, and it would run after you, try to bite the living crap out of you, and you'd have to jump away from it.
It was Talia's pet.
No, it was like one of my other buddies,
He would bring it over for this activity.
Dylan and John, and we'd bring it over for this activity, and you test the
I
bunny.
don't think bunnies would do that unless they probably had rabies.
I think
Because we're playing with
I
rabies.
think we were playing with it too hard, and it wasn't my bunny. And I think like you started to you had to kick it because it would bite you so bad and break
so
the
you guys were
living.
abusing this animal.
It was trying to bite.
It was
It
aggressive.
wasn't
bunny.
my bunny, but when it came over for games, it would try to freaking rip your flesh off, and it would hurt so
Buddy
bad.
came over for game night.
And it was it wasn't like okay, bunny, like you do your own thing, we won't bug you. It was like he goes on the ground. If there's a human, he's running up to bite it.
For the record, too, Dylan and John's street was the bad kid street.
Yeah.
So when Don started
I
hanging
got held
out,
gunpoint at
when
that
Don
street.
started hanging out those side of the tracks, that was the bad kid street.
What happened at gunpoint?
I pulled up. God forbid, this, isn't like this anymore. But I pulled up and I was on rollerblading inline aggressively style, and then me and John are outside of his house
Aggressively.
and then this guy pulls up, and then all of a sudden I'm like looking in this guy's car, and I just see a gun go boom, like a long gun, point it, and the
Like
gun
a
goes,
rifle? Like
yeah,
a barrel?
I guess
It was
yeah.
a musket, dude.
It literally looked like a musket, but I guess it must have been a shotgun or something, and it like went right by my head, and he was pointing at the guy behind me. But the gun,
What guy behind you?
I don't know. I can't remember. But the barrel was like right here.
And why are you
And
at
I'm
his
like-
window?
I thought he was a friend, but he wasn't. I guess.
How old were you?
I think I was in 6th grade.
And who was the guy behind you?
I
Like a
one of my
neighbor?
friends. One of my friends.
And was he involved in criminal activity?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Probably.
And he just pointed it and then drove off?
Pointed it and said like I can't remember what he said, and then just
Like
drove
some sort
off.
of threat?
Yeah.
In
And I
MV.
ran- and then I don't know why, but I somehow, for some reason, I guess I told my dad. I don't know why.
And you
Maybe.
porn starred all the way home on
Did it kill the blade
I
sesh?
wasn't allowed to go back for like a year.
Did it kill the blade sesh, or did you guys keep grinding?
Yeah, they seemed pretty shooken up about it, and that's when I realized I might have been a psycho because I was like, who cares? Like that was nothing.
Maybe he was on his way to a Civil War reenactment. He was picking up
Practicing.
his friend, yeah.
You want to know what I haven't seen? Maybe I just haven't been in the right neighborhoods, but I haven't seen a good waxed curb in a while. I wonder if the kids are still waxing curbs, or they're too busy e-biking.
No, you don't see.
Because this curb out here, you go 2 spaces right there, and we would try to soul grind that whole thing waxed up.
We waxed,
Put your 50-50s
maybe
on
not
it.
me, but the older kids on my street fully waxed a curb, and then it gets dirty and it bakes in the sun and it turns like black and gray.
Hell yeah, you re-wax it.
Yeah, I mean, this thing was
Colored
super waxed with frickin' Mr. Zog, sticky bumps.
You're not throwing that on there.
That's what we would wax the
Candle
curbs
wax.
with.
Candle wax, brother.
No, we'd
You're
Zogs
throwing
it.
surf
Zogs was the
wax on
best,
there?
Yeah.
Surf wax?
Yeah, that worked really good.
Dang, cousin. RSM did it
We
different.
always Zogs, all the fun boxes.
Hit us
Yeah.
up in the chat forum. Let us know if you use
Yeah.
Mr. Zogs on a curb, because it's heresy over here.
And
We just grabbed a candle, my brother.
and anyways, one of the neighbor whose
gonna
house
start
we
cricketing.
did, the neighbors whose house we did it in front of was pissed, because obviously I would be too.
Now, as a homeowner,
As
you
a homeowner,
Yeah.
the curb in front of your house is like destroyed, and he was out there for hours with a full welding mask and a blowtorch trying to get it off, and I don't think it would come off. But he was convinced to
Damn.
clean it up. Yeah,
Well, we did it only in front of our curb.
he
And
wasn't
I think
happy.
at one point I grinded the whole damn thing.
Have you ever seen
also shout out boxes too, because we had a
fun
box,
boxes?
just a
everybody
fun
had
box. Think about how primate style that is. That you would just have a box of wood with a rail on it. That was all you needed.
Manny pad.
Just a straight as mani pad. Freaking Unity, that thing. 5.0. You name it, brew.
Royale.
Rory
Isn't it Royale?
Royale.
What do you say, Royale?
Royale.
Cripes. What was I gonna say?
Cripes.
Sorry, I cut you off with my
About
fun box.
Something about a
I
fun
really
box.
want to timestamp a
have you
fun
ever
box
seen?
in there.
Have you ever seen that video? Speaking of homemade extreme sports activities, of the guy on like the Honda Dynasty or maybe it's a Harley launch on like a residential street.
But he goes for a test run. He
does
goes for a test run. He's like, yeah, I got it. And then pins it at like 50 miles an hour.
And he has a landing pad, Evil Knievel style. He's a landing ramp. He's supposed to go down the landing ramp. He clears it by like 10 yards on a full-size motorcycle.
No
If he
shocks
did
at all.
even hit the landing, like what would happen if even if he did hit the landing? That landing's exploding
Yeah,
on
yeah.
on
The ramp.
landing.
Because the whole time, if you watch it for the first time, the ramp is so janky. It's got like license plates nailed into it and like milk crates. You can't believe you're thinking, the video is going to be he hits the ramp and he doesn't even make it in the air. The ramp fails. But the ramp holds strong. And
The takeoff ramp was
He
legit.
goes straight Falcon rocket NASA style.
There's kids watching too.
There's kids. Yeah, the filmer's like, oh shit, oh.
Which, by the way,
That's a classic
rest
one.
in peace. I just saw on Instagram, actually, rest in peace, TJ Lavin's backyard. Famous BMX dirt rider. He had that famous backyard where
He's
everyone
having
would,
like a legal battle about it or something?
No, he just finally retired it. His
really?
backyard was filled with jumps. It was featured in multiple BMX video games.
Somewhere in
It was
SoCal?
like people, you'd film a video part and it'd be like, oh, we're going to TJ Lavin's backyard.
Didn't he host something?
He would host events there too.
Didn't he host a show or something? How do I know that name?
Was he the host? He might have hosted Road Rules too. Was that Lavin? That might have been
He
him.
might have done that. Yeah. Wow.
And yeah, he tore it down. Rest in peace, TJ Lavin's BMX backyard.
Rest in peace.
Oh,
Before I forget, there's
that
actually
was the BMX segment of our show, by the way. That was the BMX segment of our show.
BMX segment.
We went aggressive inline BMX. We're gonna bring it all together on wakeboarding here in our next episode.
Before you forget what, not.
Have you wakeboarded?
I have, but not enough. Like, it's a sport I do want to get into.
Joey's probably kneeboarded. Look at this
What the
cut.
heck, bro?
Kneeboarded.
Look at that cut.
Gorgeous cut. We might hose down a whole bag of Darbonic.
I'm not joking. Some of the best jerky I've had, I promise
It is
you.
great, dude. Use promo code KISSMYARSE for more for 90% off your first bag.
For 2.5% off.
We're doing more than 10% though, right?
We're doing more of the what?
10%
It's
off?
15% off.
Great. Because 10%, it's like, get out of here with that.
15%.
15.
Bags are $19.99, I think. It's 15%. You do the math.
It's such good
there's
jerky,
a question. Someone hit me up named Dookie, prior teammate. He had a question for the pod. His name actually isn't that. It's his nickname.
Dookie?
Yeah, his name isn't that.
Dookie Bets.
Runs a cool medic special operations medical course. Really based on, combat medicine, TTTPG. If you guys, know what I'm talking about.
Sucking chest wounds.
Sucking chest wounds, combat care, firefight. You know the deal. He wants to know why because I posted a picture of me working out at the gym story, I think. And he's like, why do you have a gym, but sometimes you work out at
I've wondered that ever since
At a
day
gym.
one. And it's to go freaking perv out on women's. That's why there ain't no women's in this gym. Ain't no big old women in it.
Here's the deal, Dookie. I'll tell it to you straight.
out.
I'll tell it to you straight. Don is an introverted man, creature of habit, and you would think that he would want to stay here in his dungeon and work out, but he does love to mix it up amongst the town folk and feel the energy of the local gym.
And I think you're so systematic with your routine. I would feel the same way. Staying here, you're distracted by other things going on here. There might be the kids, maybe the dogs barking. Maybe,
Neighbors are always trying to chop it up with you.
You know in the back of your head you've got laundry going on. And maybe, I think the original design was, and we're still chipping away at that, is this is your place of business, really. This is your factory.
Yeah.
This is your MILF factory, dude.
I perv out at the gym.
Rebrand
and Milf factory.
rebrand that this is the MILF factory, and say from swine to MILF in 60 days or your money back, and you'll have a line down Jimenez. Shout out women and moms. None of you are swines. That was rude. I was trying to think of a funnier word. From bovine to Atlanta 10 and
Bovine to Mission Viejo 9.
Yeah, Joey was right. Cole's right. Yeah, just get out of the house. Distractions are here. I like using a lot of the machines there. Talk to people. It's my social time. See the people. Talk to them.
Supposedly, because this
Have
is the thing.
crushes there.
When I go to the gym with Daunt and I go to 24 with him, we speak to no one typically. But when he goes solo, he's like, "Oh, I'm talking to this person, this person, this
he's
person's
not
talking to me."
verbal 100%.
I know, and I think he's creating these conversations because he tells us the stories.
I'm talking to people.
Oh yeah,
He's on the Stairmaster, astral projecting, leaving his body, pretending to walk around the gym, having these conversations. He's just drooling on the Stairmaster.
with his Oculus goggles on, having interactions.
Talked to like 4 people today in the morning, and
He
within
talks to a
15 minutes.
16-year-old Gen Z broccoli head employee. That's his best friend.
And Adam Cook.
And Adam Cook.
Those are Don's. David Stern, Adam Cook, and broccoli head guy. Supposedly, Don has the conversations. Dookie, you just need to go to the gym with him to
I've
find
talked
out.
to 5 of my gym crushes this year.
This year, this calendar year.
Yeah.
That means 5.
That's
Hi.
that's why 5 Hayes.
No.
No, you're a player, dude.
No, it's when I'm not around you freaking extroverted knuckleheads, I could actually, talk a little bit.
I'm not checking your gangster. You're a player. This is the most unlistenable pod with everybody munching.
Every time I look over, 2 of you absolute fatzos have something in your mouth.
Embarrass you like that.
What, moose knuckle?
No, you're laughing and then you snotted a bunch of stuff out of you.
No, dude, that was just Arbonic.
Yeah, Joe, I don't know why you're not talkative in the gym, and you're Mr. Talkie Chatterbox. You're the
results.
first Chatterbox there's ever been.
Because when I go to the gym with you, then I'm kind of like, oh, I know
Let's
if
see what this guy's talking about.
I
Let's see
know
him
it.
work.
Yeah, I want to see you work.
Well, I'm going to
Which
watch him cook.
I've witnessed you cook, and there's nothing coming out of the kitchen.
Joey,
And they're losing recipes.
Joey walking in.
Women are losing recipes.
Joey walking in thinking I'm going to Chatterbox at the gym. Joey's in the back behind me. He's
I'm ready.
We're going to get in there.
And I also know too, if I step off my soapbox, it's giving you the stage, and then typically we will work out in silence, whispering to each other, unless JR comes and says hi to us.
JR still local at 24?
All right,
Loke
next
dog.
time you guys come to 24,
JR's a loke
I'll
dog.
Introduce you
Shout
guys.
out JR.
I'll introduce you guys to the posse, everyone I know.
I can't wait. Maybe we go right. Maybe we beeline it from here to 24, because I was planning on getting an absolute back explosion exercise after this pod, but maybe we do that.
I had deads and chest today.
Every time Cole comes here, he deadlifts 300 pounds and then doesn't work out for the rest of the week. We can't do that to him again.
And let it be known, my calves are, first day they're feeling a
Oh,
little
dude.
alleviated.
Friggin' snaps for Cole. First official sandbag Saturday.
Second, bro.
You were goofing with Zach on the first one.
I completed it.
This one, you had your weird ass Oakleys on, locked in the back of the pack
With Kevin.
with Kev Dog, your arch nemesis.
Kevin and I,
guys joined forces.
I think we might start a pod. I'm going to leave you guys.
But walk us through, Cole, first sandbag. How was the energy out there?
Energy was great. I was predicting it was going to be a massive turnout because we had some gloomy weather.
Timestamp group photo.
Timestamp group photo. We had gloomy weather for a month, and it was projected to be a hot, probably hottest day of the year so
It
far.
was so hot.
Which
Very
it
hot.
was. It was great.
90 inland, 80 at the beach.
Lots of beautiful faces, healthy, fit people, coming to feel good. I was locked in. Had my wife and my son in attendance. I couldn't let them down. I didn't fill my bag too much. That's the key if you're a first timer. If you're considering heading on down to SBS with Coach Dante, don't overload the bag too much. You're going to be carrying it the whole time. Get comfortable with it. First time I went, I was like, yeah, it's a sandbag. I'm going to pretty much fill it up. And that was a huge mistake. Obviously, you can get there, but
With the lighter bag, it's accessible.
you want to keep enough slouch in the bag so you can throw it over your shoulder. If it's fully taut, it's gonna start hurting. And yeah, it was wonderful. But the calves, you don't think about it because you feel your legs firing, you feel your arms, your back from carrying the bag and all that. But the calves, you don't think are these tiny little muscles going up all these stairs a million times and then working every muscle with your toes through the sand. Mm-hmm. In just under an hour, my calves, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're now on to Wednesday, and it still is like if I could barely get on a foam roller without screaming in pain. It's crazy.
It is pretty crazy how universal it is that everyone has the same complaint
The calves?
and pain, and Oh,
Gotta be the
without
sand.
a doubt.
I don't even think
It's
it's
the
the
sand.
stairs. It's the
It's
sand.
It's the sand,
sand.
and then I think a lot of
And
people
probably barefoot on the stairs.
a lot of people aren't used to working out, and I think even when you're doing all the stairs barefoot, you're engaging something in your calf or you're pushing with your toe constantly.
Coming down to come down nice and ease it down.
What was Drew's friend that came, the 7-footer?
7
What's his name? 6'11".
Anton.
Anton's 6'11", Cole, and his issue is his feet couldn't fit on the
big.
stairs.
So he had to go
So
sideways.
when he was going up and down, his foot was so big it couldn't fit on the stairs, so he had to go like duck walk
He slides
sideways
down.
almost.
You got like size 16s or something.
17, I think. He has
That's
to get
crazy.
custom cycling shoes, cyclist, and he came in. So if Anton could do it in the size 17 clompers, then anyone can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But the calves, it's universal. Frank says his were evaporated after the first one too, and is still recovering.
You
But
ever
yeah.
had a major injury down there?
Kevin with the broken finger.
Kevin broken finger.
That's it. Nobody
Um,
took a tumble down a couple flights or anything.
No one's taken a tumble yet. We've
It
had
was
one
real-
mom.
Knock on wood.
We've had one mom trip after the workout at the rocks at the cave, and she had a knee bandage.
She just went on a little exploration
Yeah, a
afterwards.
little
And then Dante created a workout. He builds the workout every week, but he built one where he's like, go past the death rock, and it was like running around this
yeah, that's
rock
right,
on
the
high
toe.
tide, and he exploded his toe on a rock
Ripped off
really bad.
chunk of my toe.
But he deserved that one. He created the workout.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cole. No, the stairs were.
Oh!
Jesus, Terrence. A blanket just fell for all of our listeners, but
we brought up the
Death rock.
Death Rock,
Death Rock.
Dyatlov Pass.
But Cole, last week the stairs were extremely. I think we had so many people. Like with the 40 people, the stairs get more wet because there's so many people going
And it's
up.
funny
and
if
down,
you notice,
soaking
everybody
wet.
stays to the right.
It's great. Oh, it's
Just like the slopes, man. Just like boating. I think you got to go 3. What?
3 what?
I think you got to go 3. Like, hey, we could have people go up the stairs on the right. You got the people going down on the left. I think you can scoot your pooch right on the middle.
We have a third row open.
I go third row.
Yeah,
all
but
the
then
time.
there's the civilians.
yeah.
There's
I
a
know.
lot of French, a lot of European
lot
coming
of
down to the beach
Europeans
this last
come.
weekend.
Laguna Beach is the new Euro hub. Oh gosh, Don.
Is that the gird?
Swallowed a fly.
It was the Euro hub this past week, and I think it's going to
A lot of
increase.
Euros. A lot of French.
Just hear the chatter on the stairs.
It's got to be hitting like Euro travel influencer blog stuff.
Yeah.
or
The
something.
cave.
the same
cave,
way
the
that
pool.
like me and Ash went to Cinque Terre in Italy.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
5
yeah.
cities, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, there's 5 cities in Italy, and you
Yeah.
can go there.
Yeah.
We heard about it from someone who went, and we're like, we got to go there too. And now they're like, you got to go to Laguna Beach,
But I think even 10th or, you know.
specifically 10th. Yeah, specifically.
Yeah.
Because why else would you put yourself through that to carry all those things down?
You get a couple
wear
drone.
nice
You get a couple
clothes?
drone videos of the secret pools, and it's game on. Have you seen like where people?
Oh, around the cave?
Yeah.
Yeah, but lifeguards don't let people go back
I
there,
know,
do
but
they?
I've seen people come
When it's
down
low tide,
on, people
100%.
come down on vacay, and they'll be like, "Yeah, do you know where we could get to the pools?"
Those are
And I'm
public.
like, "First off, dude, go home, dude.
those
go
aren't.
back to where
Those
you
are
came from."
public.
They are.
They were private and now they've been abandoned or something, or is it somebody's property? It can't be property. It's on the beach.
It's on the beach, but it's weirdly like the lifeguards don't kick you out. I think if you go.
I haven't
over
been over there in a while. Could you bring Milo over there? You think, or too sketch on low tide?
maybe low tide.
Low
have to
tide, yeah.
carry
It's
him?
just, you'd have to carry him up the rocks. The rocks are
Or if like a
sharp.
really small day, just paddle them over on a
Because
board.
it is. I haven't been over there in a while. It's a fun little hang.
Gorgeous, but surfing sucks. Don't try it, dude.
Eddie would go.
Eddie would go. There's still an algae bloom, so do not get in the water.
Seals are going nuts.
Do not go swimming.
On to the David.
Oh my gosh.
You got your second pack from Amazon yet?
I did. If you guys are wondering why I eat, because I come from my cardio workout in the morning or jujitsu.
My day starts at 6 a.m., so I'm pretty much having 2 days.
You've seen that guy?
My day starts
I've
at
seen
4
him like
a.m.
years ago, and then
He
now
says-
coming
My
out.
day starts at 2 a.m. and I'm done at 6 a.m. So I've cheated
Somehow
the
he
system.
lives 2 days in one
In
day.
one.
3 days.
Yeah,
6 to
3
noon,
days.
noon to 6, and 6 to midnight.
Those are 3 different days.
He's
So he's really like 400 years old.
When
too.
Dante's
When I first listened to
when
that years
Dante's-
ago, I'm like, oh,
he's right.
okay.
He's actually right. So Dante's actually cool on his second day right now. That's why he's
Yeah,
eating.
Okay, it's breakfast again.
You're on your second day.
On my second day.
The meat stick was dinner. He just slept and then woke up.
But
and now that's
walk us
breakfast.
through. So you did cardio in the morning. You refuel now, and then back to the gym for deads.
I might do deads here, to be honest with you.
Looks like Cole's doing deads again.
And I might do bench here.
Are we benching after this?
Yeah, I might do bench first and then deads. And then, I'll go to the gym and finish off a couple other things. Yeah.
All right.
But today was Stairmaster, 30 minutes, weight vest. Gets me warmed up for the pod.
Tell me about your haircut.
I think my hair's just, needed it.
High and tight. Business in the front.
Yeah, sort of a little mullet going
Fire
on.
festival in the
A
back.
little bit Aussie style. Looks good.
Aussie style. Pretty cool.
Natural curls, no perm.
No perm, natural curls.
Tanner's actually getting a perm Friday. Tanner gets perms.
No.
Yeah.
What's a perm? Curled?
A perm is, it's like every kid in Australia, like Australians get perms. If they don't have naturally curly hair, they get the mullet and they get the back permanently curled. Like chemically kind of, not curled, but like,
That's
to
what
make
they're
it
doing?
basically look like your hair.
That's what they're doing over there?
Fluffy. They might not make it look fluffy.
Yeah, Tanner and I have pin straight hair. Like it's pin straight. So if Tanner grew the mullet, it would just go straight down. So he gets it basically to look like yours, which you've been
Wavy.
gifted naturally. Wavy, sure, wavy.
Same with Joey.
Same with Joey.
Mine's a little straighter than yours, though.
Really?
Got a lot of volume back here, my
I
brother.
look like a little bird's nest.
And was it a man or woman that cut your hair?
A woman. She was older woman, pretty nice looking.
We didn't ask about that.
Another one next to her was very nice looking.
Did you say hi?
No, but
Vietnamese?
I caught her looking at me a couple times.
White? Vietnamese?
She's white, tattoos, good traits.
Good traits?
No, it's
Healthy? Healthy looking, good.
yeah. But
When I was a young man and I would get my hair cut, you would always get the
Peaks.
boob brush, and you weren't looking for it, but you would get a little bit of a boob brush as
On
they
the
would-
shoulder.
on the shoulder, and that was always, shocking,
Quite invigorating. Bit
invigorating. What?
nothing. Quite invigorating.
Scary. And on the boob brush.
All right, well,
No.
I gotta go pick up Milo from school.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's Olive?
We've been absolutely hosing over here. All's with Ash. Got to go pick up my son from school. And then I think I'm going to get straight back here for a deadlift sesh.
You guys don't think my wait, never mind. What's up? I gotta go raise
don't
my
think
son.
you're what?
I like my raise my son joke. When if you ask any dad at any moment, they could be like, "Hey, what do you got to do today?" You're like, "Got to raise my son."
I
wouldn't call it a joke.
Yeah, I don't.
but
I
it's
don't
not a
really see
joke.
the comedic value, but it's a quick response that works.
It's
sure.
a quick response to where if you have to actually go be with your kid, and you have nothing else to do that day. It's just a funny. I think I would use it. I'd be like, "Got to go raise my son."
All right.
You know what I mean?
Gotta remind Don's first little laugh when he first told the joke. He's like, I gotta go raise my son. He loved the joke.
That's the second time I've heard
Don,
that.
Again, it's a great thing to say, but it's not.
until you guys like it.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's
but
not
it's
a joke.
It's a cool thing to say.
Yeah,
know it's
honestly,
not a
to be
joke.
honest, dude, it's not a joking matter. Actually, dude, a lot of men need fathers out here.
Yeah, honestly, not a
I know
joking
it's not
matter.
a joke, guys. But when you guys leave, it's like, "What are you doing today?" "Oh, I got to be with Milo." Where I would say, like, "Got to raise my son."
Yeah.
Gotta raise Milo. I know it's not a joke. I'm not making fun of it.
Or you could say, "Got to go chase these hoes. Got to go stack that bread."
Yeah.
It'd be like me saying, like,
God, you all bundled up in the Terrence blanket.
it'd be like, "Oh, what the hell? He's back." Damn, man.
The GMC is back.
The
Where did he come from?
Mexico. No, nothing against Mexico or Mexican.
Back to
No, it'd be like me saying,
Val Horgan.
hey, I got to go to the gym today. It's like, I'm going to say that. So I'm going to be like, got to go break down some muscle fibers. I'm going to go break down some muscle fibers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
touch back on this one. We'll see what the response is from the listeners.
We're gonna check back in with Dookie and see if Dookie has another question for us next.
Right in, Dookie. Don, I'm sure you had some improv and stuff you wanted to get to this episode. Joey and I were a couple little chatterboxes. We kind
Sorry,
of
I
took
was
over.
chattering.
Apologize. We were munching too.
So we'll be back next week with some more hard hitting stuff.
Shout out Darbonic. Get yourself a bag. I'm not even joking. It's really flipping good.
Cole's absolutely hosing it down. Thank you, Darbonic Jerky. Thank you, 8 Sleep.
Thank you, Puff Bar. Thank you, David Bar.
Puff bars were out of this world insane. I'm not even saying good either. It was just insane. It was the weirdest protein bar I've ever had.
The Mookie Bar.
Is that our sponsor too?
Bull Hill Sniper shirt.
Bull Hill Sniper. Shout out.
Also,
Shout
head
out
on over to
Will,
Don's Instagram.
Washington.
Link is indeed in the bio for Don's new enemy merch. I actually have to buy a new tank.
Yeah, the tanks.
Or I'm going to buy a shirt and make it into a tank. But
Sure, yeah. The shirts might be going away soon, so
What?
We might do a rebrand.
Why?
I don't know.
Don's had the shirts live for like 2 weeks, and we are officially rebranding. There comes the Death Crow.
No, or I'll keep them. You never know.
Grab a shirt. I actually
grab a shirt.
Well,
They
the
look
reason
great. I like them.
The reason is I saw you working out in one the other day, and I was like, why don't I have a shirt yet?
It's comfy.
So I got to buy it.
All right.
All right, we'll see you guys at Sandbag Sat. Cole's coming back, round 2.
What's Mark Wahlberg's clothing brand called?
Municipal.
Next week,
Gotta
next app, we're gonna be all dripped out of municipal.
I honestly plan
Municipal.
on having a municipal
He
jumpsuit
shows his boxers.
there.
Municipal.
We're gonna be dripped out of
Here.
municipal. Hopefully, get a sponsorship next week. Peace.
Love you guys. Straight up, shout out, peace on earth. Believe that.